Conference Finals, but questions still remain if they will keep the current roster together. Kawhi Leonard has a player option this offseason, and the Mavericks and Heat are reportedly interested in the two-time Finals MVP. So, Shannon, I actually want to start with you. Do you believe Kawhi will stay with the Clippers?
Skip, he might be one of the most enigmatic personalities we've ever seen.
Mr. X.
I don't, Skip, I don't really feel confident one way or another because his personality, he's very difficult to read. You don't know what he's thinking. You don't know what he's feeling. A lot of guys, you know, they'll give you a tale. This guy, you don't know anything. He might be excited inside, and he's got the same stare. He might be boiling inside. He has the same look on his face. But for me, Skip, I was like, I think he'll stay. I say there's a 75, 80% chance he can stay. The Clippers can play him the most money. Steve Ballmer, money is not an issue. They've given him everything he wants. Basically, Ty Lue's come in and gotten him to practice a little more, gotten him to play a little more. Maybe he's a little bit more vocal now, but that's really not his personality. He's a guy, he likes to lead by his play. He's not a guy that's going to call team meetings. He's not a guy that's going to have you over to his house to get together and we sit around, play cards, have a drink and video games and things. That's not him.
He's going to go his own way.
He's going to do his own. He's like, hey, this is what I'm doing to get ready. Y'all need to do whatever y'all need to do to get ready. But, Skip, I just think they were close. For me, I do believe they'd have been right there. Had Kawhi not gotten injured. But, you know, that injuries are a part of the game. He won a championship when, you know, two of the other players from another team got injured. But for me, Skip, he wanted to get home. He had to go a roundabout way to get there, Skip. Normally, if you're in Texas, you don't normally go to Canada to come to L.A. That's a long flight diversion. When you could have just come here. So he
just had a little layover.
Yeah, he had a little, you know, 6-8 month layover. And he got to where ultimately where he wanted to be. The weather's great. His family's here. His family's always around him. So for me, Skip, I'm going to say there's a 75, 80% chance he stays. But I ain't bet no money that he stays. You ain't going to get me. So what you want to put on it? Nothing. Not one case will do, not 10 cases will do that he stays. Because nobody knows what Kawhi Leonard's going to do, but probably him and Uncle Dennis.
That is correct.
I don't know.
I'm not even sure if Uncle Dennis knows. The mysterious Mr. X, who is Kawhi Leonard. I'm serious when I say this. If I suddenly heard that Kawhi had joined the Lakers, I would not be shocked by that, because I know I was shocked when he didn't join the Lakers on that fateful night of July the 5th when we actually had an earthquake here in Southern California that reverted all the way to the Summer League game in Las Vegas where the whole arena was shaking. And I know my house was shaking and your house was shaking. And then we got shook up about, I don't know, an hour later when this bombshell dropped that I'll never forget opening up one of the websites, I forget which one, and I saw Kawhi in a Clippers jersey?
I saw that too.
What?
I thought it was a fast the same thing. I was on IG and I was like, hold on.
What?
A Clippers?
What's that? Is it a joke?
I said, that's what I was thinking. I said,
nope, not a joke. So would it be a joke if he suddenly said, okay, now it's time for me to go to the Lakers? Nope, wouldn't shock me a bit. I'll go with you. I'll go 75% that he will stay, because I did have one very positive sign. He came down out of that suite where he was with his wife and kids, or his family, and Uncle Dennis was up there. He came down out of the suite and actually sat on the bench for Game 6 with his mask on. And he is the masked man, because you never know. He is not a bad guy. He's definitely not a bad guy, but he's not a team guy. He's a solo. And so you can't predict what's going to happen, because there are lots of reports Dallas will make a hard run. Anybody can make a hard run. You know the Knicks are going to make a hard run. They just will. They got the money. They got the slot. They can come after it, and they will. Dallas will make a big pitch, and he'll love it. And they will get wined and dined, he and Uncle Dennis.
I think one of the things he said, Skip, he didn't really like the cold weather in Toronto. So I don't think he's gonna like the cold weather in New York. I think he's a warm weather guy, being in San Antonio, born and raised in L.A.
I would agree. And listen, Dallas has its cold months too, because it'll snow a time or two.
So I think L.A. ideally is where he would want to be.
So do I think that this team was close? I really do. Do I think they were unified and united, and that they really had fun winning basketball games together? More than you think. And it emanated from the new man at the top, Ty Lue. So do I think there's a spirit in that locker room that we would like to run it back again? They're not running back a championship. They're running back a playoff run that without Kawhi was unlikely for a while. But they did have some success that they've never had because they did get to a conference final for the first time in their, 51-year history. So you can run that part back, and then it'll come down to Reggie Jackson. And again, he is free. He is unrestricted free agent.
Somebody gonna pay him a lot of money, Skip.
Okay, I got it. But he was crying real tears after the game. You guys saved me. That was his message, was the Clippers saved me because he was down and out. And they gave him a chance to redeem himself in his early 30s to say, watch what I can do.
I appreciate that. Now let me go get this bank.
Okay, well, let's see. That's your hope because you hope he isn't a Clipper or you're going to be in trouble.
No, Skip. But Skip, when I look at Kawhi, and I don't want people to confuse that I'm saying that Kawhi is not a team player. I'm just saying that he's a solo act in a team concept.
He is.
He's not a leader. In other words, he's not going to try and galvanize anybody.
He doesn't want to be.
He just wants to play basketball. That's what he does. He wants to play, Skip, and go home and be with his family. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because I don't want people to think, well, you saying Kawhi is selfish and he's not. No. Kawhi just wants to be Kawhi.
He does.
And Kawhi's a quiet guy who works his butt off in the offseason to get ready to play the games. He wants to play the game. He wants to go home. That's it.
He does have high basketball intellect.
Yes.
And they did say that he was FaceTiming with Ty Lue earlier when he was first out. And he was offering some insight into the game plans. He wanted some input into the game plans. But I told you this, what disturbed me the most was, and I told you he was gone for the playoffs the day after he was injured. But I know for a fact, early on, he got crossways with the Clippers medical staff about the extent of his injury. And it was San Antonio all over again. It was like a nightmare that I had to relive, where his medical team said, no, this is much worse than they're telling you once he went to his team. And I'm pretty sure he's going to need surgery. And I don't think it's going to be that serious. And by all accounts, he'll come back 100% from it. But it knocked him out of the rest of the playoffs.
Dealing with that guy, Skip, if you know anything, be 100% honest with him from the jump.
Correct.
He's the guy that you want. Some people, Skip, if you get sideways with him, they'll never forgive you. He never forgave San Antonio.
He did not. And it was seen as the best organization in the NBA, and he wouldn't forgive him.
So just be upfront with him, say, Kawhi, this is what, and Skip, think about it. Bogdanovich bumped him. How many times we see guys do that all the time? And that just that cost him the rest of his playoffs.
Yeah, I think it was, what's the name?
It was Bogdanovich, wasn't it?
I think it was
Ingles.
Ingles.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, I'm just saying, he just bumped him in.
He just bumped. No, it was nothing cheap about it. It just was an accident.
What if Ingles said, what if that said, that wasn't meant for you, though?
That's you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It wasn't for you.
I apologize. That wasn't meant for you.
My bad.
I meant to bump PG, playoff P.
If only it worked that way in everything in life.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to take a break from the NBA. The 49ers, Jaguars, and Skip's Cowboys all face early fines this offseason. I'll give you the details next.
At it again.
No mercy.